Disney, 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 Disney. Hey guys, welcome back to Stacked episode 143. Thank you so much. Episode 144. It's 3. Episode 143. We are back
to discuss D23.
The D23 big event happened in Anaheim, California.
Near to where I live.
Yes. So how was the traffic?
It was fine.
Cool.
I stay out of it.
All right. Thanks so much for listening to Stacked, everybody.
All right,
that's our traffic report. Yeah. So this is a big thing now.
Yeah.
This didn't used to be a big thing.
Yeah. Because Comic-Con sort of served the purpose of, like, Disney's
Hall
big
H.
announcements.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're like, ooh.
And this was just like for Disney adults to do something.
To go, ooh.
But now Disney's like, we don't need those third parties. We got our own shit.
Yeah.
And now here we are.
Marvel, we've got Star Wars, we've got Pixar, and then Disney, and then
theme park stuff.
Disney Plus.
And it's like...
Before we start this, can we talk about this thing that happened in the news recently? Did you hear about this?
Well, you have to tell me first.
I know, and I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you. That's how podcasts work. I'm setting it up. All right. So, a couple went to Disney World.
I don't know about this. Okay.
I think I know what you're on.
And they ate somewhere. I don't remember where it was. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Now I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
there
and
was
the husband
incident.
had an allergy, like a severe allergy to something, so he let them know.
Yeah.
And Disney, usually with allergies and stuff, like they're on top of it.
Yeah.
But something happened.
Yeah.
He got food with an allergy, had a horrible attack. Did he die?
Did
He die?
I'm
I'm going to put up right here if he died or not.
He did. He didn't.
Yay, or, oh, damn. And I'm going to cut to which one. What's the result? Anyways, they sued, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Disney had like a little legal loophole.
Which is... I think this is the most dystopian Disney thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, and I'm surprised that Disney's sticking by this, considering that I feel like this is going to do
Bad
worse
PR?
than just giving them
Then
whatever
just
the fuck they want.
Yeah, then just giving it to the fucking
Whatever
lawsuit.
settlement or whatever they want to do.
So Disney's loophole was, this couple signed up for Disney Plus, and somewhere in like the terms and the terms and services of Disney Plus, they're trying to argue that that's like, you got our subscription, that way you were like, you getting an allergy to our food is your fault.
That has nothing to do with the streaming service that you...
Which is fucking insane.
Yeah. There's probably a much better way to articulate this, but that's the general idea of what it is.
And I have a feeling this whole episode is just going to be like, what's going on?
Disney that we're in.
Yeah.
We all like Disney. I mean, we all
grew up on
Disney.
Yeah.
You grew up with the parks.
Yep.
And then Chris and I were more
Movies.
into the movies and TV of it all.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like that's where it's like, we have such a nostalgic attachment to this
most
company.
people do.
And it's universal.
Yeah.
It's not universal. But it's a universal attachment.
Hold on.
Okay.
Pause the show. Anyways, keep going.
And in that way, it feels like when we watch something like this, it used to be huge. It used to be like the greatest thing ever for us to pay attention to these lineups and go, oh my God, I can't believe they're coming out with this new original thing or a long-awaited sequel to something. And now it's like they're throwing sequels at you like left, right, center. And it's like, what the hell?
But we're gonna talk about it all, and we're gonna be, I don't know, we're gonna react. We're gonna emote. I don't know what's gonna happen, because guess what? It's your time to shine, buddy.
Yeah.
Tell us what happened at D23 this year, because I was a little out of the loop. I'm not gonna lie.
I got the highlights from Twitter or whatever, but I didn't like watch anything.
We've been on sets lately. You know, we've been away from society. But Brandon, he kept his ear to the streets. You know, living so close to Anaheim.
Yeah.
Yep. You were in the field.
What'd they say?
Would you go to D23?
I think it would be an interesting thing to go to. Like, I've never been to San Diego Comic-Con. I've been to, like, local things.
Yeah.
But never, like, the biggest events where they unveil this stuff. And I feel like the energy of being there would make up for some of the announcements being so-so. But even then, I feel like there's starting to be these cracks in the armor for Disney. So, I think I would. I think I would.
Yeah.
Try it.
I would go and dress up as like a really obscure like
Disney character. Be like a Muppet.
Like
Vision
one of my favorite, I guess, creators, Rocco Bodie from Mega 64.
Mm-hmm.
He always goes to those conventions, and this year he dressed up as who was it? Michelangelo, the artist from Spaceship Earth, because there's a scene where they go through the Renaissance and he's painting the ceiling.
Yeah.
So that's who he went as.
And people recognize him?
I don't think so, but like he just like he always does like obscure costumes. I feel like I'd do something like that.
Fake
if I ever went.
Disney fans. They should know.
Yeah, they should know. Like he went as like the guy who sleeps with the pigs in the Pirates of the Caribbean one year.
If you're a real Disney fan, a Disney adult going to D23, you need to know everybody.
If you're a real Disney adult, why? Why? Anyways, Brandon.
Yeah. So let's
take the wheel.
So, all right, where do we want to start? I guess we could start with what they first revealed, which is their movie slate. Like I said, they did their Marvel Cinematic Universe thing where they didn't plot out the dates on their
the timeline.
Yeah,
they bring out that big timeline on the screen.
Yeah, they didn't do that, but they did sort of go studio by studio and develop it that way. So they started out with like their animation, because of course Disney is known for their animation. That's how most of their movies started.
That's how the studio started.
Basically.
Yes, that is how. Yes, not basically. That is.
Yeah.
It was Walt Disney. Yeah, I guess. Whatever.
But immediately off the bat, you get like Moana 2, Frozen 3 and 4, Zootopia 2. And it's like, okay, we're in for a lot of sequels here. It's like,
yeah.
And it's not even like people are asking for this. I mean, maybe a Zootopia 2, but Moana 2 was supposed to be like a TV show to begin with, and Frozen, like the production history of the second one, if you haven't seen it, is insane.
What happened?
So like,
I never saw the second one.
You never did?
Right. I hated the first one. Why would I?
I don't know.
I hated it.
You're a Disney lover, don't you know?
Yeah.
But there was like a cursed production history because Disney tried to force it into development as soon as possible.
Oh.
And so they were like ending up like changing things like within like a few months of the release. For an animated film, that's extremely difficult to pull off. So it came off as like sort of a mess.
Yeah.
And when critics saw it, they were like, they gave it like an okay passing grade, but that's why nobody was like over the moon about it.
But it still made $1 billion.
It's the third or second, depending on.
We're gonna say second.
Highest grossing animated film.
We're not counting that live action Lion King, and we'll talk about that later, I assume.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
But that sort of set the tone for what audiences were like expecting, which is like sequel, and I counted.
Yep.
Out of all of the projects announced at D23, only 5 of them were not IP based. 5 of like 25 or something like that.
Oh.
Gulp.
Indeed.
So where are we gonna start?
What do you mean?
What movie are we gonna talk about first?
I mean, well, I don't know. I didn't expect you to ask me that question.
You're in charge of the flow of the show, man. We gave this to you.
I'm gonna ruin it.
No, it's fine. You're doing great, sweetheart. What are we doing?
Well,
what are we talking about first?
Let's talk about like the propensity for Disney to keep making sequels to like franchises that are like maybe unnecessary. You've got the Toy Story 5 of it all. You've got Incredibles 3. You've got Zootopia 2, Frozen 3, and 4.
Yeah.
Which is going to be a 2-part masterpiece, apparently.
Wait, really?
Yes. That's what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So out of any of those, what do you guys think is like obviously like the chances of it being good are pretty high, and of the rest of them, which do you think are unnecessary or not going to be pulling their weight?
Just out of animation?
Yeah.
Chris, what do you think?
Okay, I'm going to say, if I had to guess which one's going to be good, I'm going to go with Zootopia 2.
Okay.
I really like the first Zootopia. I think it's a really fun movie. I love the world in that movie. Yeah, and I do enjoy the characters. I don't see what they could be doing to enhance the narrative that was in the first film, because I honestly thought the first film was such a good take on bigotry and social classes, which I really enjoyed. The one I think is going to struggle the most, at least for me, and I'm just saying this now. Hang on real quick. I do want to say I do think Incredibles 3 has a good shot, because I do like Brad Bird. I do really like Brad Bird.
Creative guy.
And I wasn't the hottest on Incredibles 2, admittedly. I love Incredibles 1. I think we all do.
I think everybody does.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody dislikes that movie.
The one I'm the most intrepid by is Toy Story 5. Because, okay, so.
It's bleak.
Yeah, the thing for me is like Toy Story, the original trilogy of Toy Story, I think is such a perfectly rounded story. Everything wraps up so beautifully. And there are some people who really hate Toy Story 4 and some people who really love it. Me, I generally really like it. And for me, the way I'm able to like it is that I think of it as more like an epilogue, a character-centric epilogue than
for
a Woody-centric epilogue. But then Toy Story 5 comes along, and they're all together again.
Yeah.
So this is their second reunification.
Yeah.
Because at the end, spoiler alert, at the end of Toy Story 4, Woody breaks off from the gang to kind of...
Fucks off. He's out of here.
Find his own thing.
With Bo Peep.
So now it's like... all of like what was the point of Toy Story 4 then?
If he's
just gonna come back.
Yeah.
And
because Chris, they gotta talk about how phones are replacing toys.
and technology is faulty.
And even though like
it's the most obvious message.
And it's also and with that it's like, yeah, sure, put that in the Toy Story universe, but like you could also tell that narrative with something original.
Yeah.
It doesn't have, but of course, Disney is going to bank on what is going to guarantee them the money, which is the IP.
The money.
So
I will never doubt Pixar when they announce a project, even a sequel. Mm-hmm. But that one has got me a little trepidatious.
Yeah.
Yeah. What were you going to say?
How come?
Well, the original idea for Toy Story 3, this was actually scrapped in the early development stage for the second one because they were trying to do like the direct-to-video Toy Story 2.
Really?
Yeah, and they were like, oh, what could we do for a third one? And they came up with this idea of all these buzzes getting recalled to Tokyo and the toys going after him.
Oh.
Which is and they announced, the villain of this, or one of the villains of this, is going to be these 50 Buzz toys who are malfunctioning and need to get sent back to get repaired or something like that.
Okay.
And in addition to that, now you've got this new element of phones and like cellular devices, which they sort of touch on in the third one, with Andy always being attached to his phone. But it's not like a big thread. I recently rewatched every Pixar movie this year.
Yeah.
And I mean, I love Toy Story 4. That's actually my favorite Pixar movie. And I think that's a very hot take.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
But I think it's just such a great character-centric and adult story that if they were going to do a fifth one, I'm fine if Disney wants to cash in on the brand, if they have a good story to tell. The problem is like what Chris said. It's like taking away from the ending of the fourth one. And we might look back at this in a year or 2 years, whenever the trailer and movie actually does come out, and be like, like they found a way to do it properly, just like we thought about 4 with 3.
Yeah.
But the issue with that being is like when you establish something that is so closed off as an ending, whereas like the third one kind of leaves it open. Like you have no idea where they could go with that.
Yeah.
And then they found a way. The fifth one, it's like, it seems kind of like you shouldn't go back to like bringing everybody together, because that's the point. Just have the movie with the other toys, because people are unsatisfied with how the other toys were being used. Yeah. And I know Woody is Toy Story, but come on.
Yeah.
What are we doing here?
I still prefer 3 as like the definitive ending for Toy Story. I just think that's such a good message about the sort of like what am I looking for? What is the word?
Not cyclical.
Not
transitionary
period. No,
I don't know.
I'm looking for existential. Yeah. I think that ended its sort of existential narrative about what it is to be a toy and the life of a toy.
Right.
Where it's just like, and that just reflects on life and change, I feel, where it's just like sometimes you just got to close the door, but that opens another.
4 is less about that.
I mean, 4 is kind of like that because it's like, now Woody's leaving, But it's about like how do they move on from the like being a toy, like being owned by a kid, you know? Like what's the way to get out of that? Which I thought, listen, I think the story itself for 4 is fine. I still hate what they do with Buzz Lightyear. I think they made him, I know Buzz was like, he was dumb in the first one, that made sense, but in like 2 and 3, I think his character grew, but then he just became a dumbass again. And I hate him in that movie. And he's like my boy. He was I dressed up as him for Halloween.
Oh.
Yeah. What are you?
I'm a Rex
You're a Rex guy.
I'm a Rex
I knew
guy.
it.
I love Rex.
I knew
I'm a
it.
Woody guy.
As soon as I saw that green sweatshirt, I'm like, you're a Rex guy. That's why you wear green. That's why he wears green. That's why he wears green. Sorry. Look at him. He wears green. He thinks he's a T-Rex. But yeah, I mean, like, it's cool how that movie ends, which is why I don't hate the film, but I think it is my least favorite Toy Story movie, and I'd still call like the Toy Story trilogy like one thing. You know what I mean? So I'd still talk about like the Toy Story trilogy is one of the best trilogies, I feel. But yeah, I'm gonna be honest, I'm not excited for 5.
Even if Andrew Stanton's doing it.
Even if he's doing it, I'm just like they couldn't have picked a more like boring topic with electronics, because that's all like there's like Mitchell's versus Machines, there's Ron's Gone Wrong, right? That was probably about No, I didn't see that movie, but that's what it kind of seemed like, you know. And it's just like it also seems hypocritical.
The internet.
Ralph, that too. It's just like it seems hypocritical because they're like, oh, everyone's like on their devices these days. And I'm like, Disney, you're
king of this.
You're contributing to that. You know that, right? And now that you're making movies about how that's bad, but
it's hypocritical.
It's hypocritical, but I don't know. We'll see.
Do you think any of these could be good? Chris said Incredibles 3. Zootopia 2, sorry.
What? Both? A bit of both. I don't know.
I think Zootopia 2 could be fun. Like, it's... I think the first Zootopia was fun. I haven't seen it since it came out.
Yeah.
And I remember enjoying it. I love the world building. I think that was cool. So as long as it shows me more of that, you know, I'm not like over the moon about any of these animated films, because there's sequels like Frozen, don't care. Moana, I also like really enjoyed the first Moana. I thought that was like such a great and original.
But we just watched
Disney
the
princess movie. Yeah, we just watched the trailer, and I just don't know. I don't know what else there is to say about it. But I guess, you know, like, I guess they're building out the world more there too.
Here's what I'm thinking. It's like with these sequels. If you look at the original films, and even some of the sequels, like with Toy Story, everybody talks about how the sequels are really great comparatively to other animated and live-action sequels. Yeah. Because they're crafted with, like, the thematics of what they're saying first.
Also, the main thesis of those films is, like, this is a look into the life of a toy. Yeah. And those films, like, I feel like that's good for, like, more installments, because you're seeing through their life cycle, you know. But I mean, the themes of the first Moana is just like it's coming of age, you know.
So she's already come of age by the end.
Yeah. So I'm like, and you know, what else is there for her to learn? Yeah. You know, I mean, I guess there will be. Clearly there will be, but I'm just like, I'm not excited about it.
Right.
You know,
and I mean that goes for Frozen and Zootopia as well, where it's sort of, and Incredibles. You know, each film had a individual like theme that it was trying to tell, because it's an original movie. They never intended to make sequels to these, I don't think. No. And they tried to craft the movie around the thesis of what they're doing, race relations, class, and stuff for Zootopia. Frozen's like sisterhood, coming of age, abusive men, stuff like that. Whereas like when you add a sequel element to it, it's like you're dampening the brand because you want to make money and tell funny jokes.
I think I would have been a lot more excited for Incredibles 3 if like they sort of like, and if they had Incredibles 2 be like sort of what Toy Story 2 does, where it's like this is now another stage in this family's life. It not really is. They're like the same ages from the. It's like it takes up right after the first one.
That was the frustrating part.
That was frustrating, and just like I would love to see this family in different stages in life. So if there's like a huge time jump in Incredibles 3, we see the kids older. Maybe we see like this family like superhero team is like
that could be
these kids are starting to be their own heroes. Jack's now like a kid, you know, and like Mr.
Dash,
Incredible and you know Elastigirl, they're now like older, you know, and
retired maybe.
Yeah, now they're like, oh, we can't do this anymore.
Or thinking about retirement.
But now they still have Jack, and like the kids are sort of like maybe like Violet's going to college or something like that. She's older, maybe she's already in college, and like, you know, Dash is like, you know,
rebellious,
being more rebellious than he already is. He wants to like be his own thing.
Vigilante criminal.
Shit, that would be a great. Let me make this movie. I can do it. I'll make it better. But we don't know. We don't.
Yeah.
Again,
so about it.
All I can think of, like when I just see Incredibles 3, I think of, oh, okay, is this going to be the same as what happened with Incredibles 2? And I'm just like, I enjoyed Incredibles 2 when I saw it, but like, it is one of those things. Like the more you think about it, or honestly, the more I forget about it, is why the less I enjoy it. You know, because I'm just like, can anybody tell me what happens in those movies?
Well, yes, I can.
I know you can, because you just know everything. Do you know anything that happens in Incredibles 2?
The vaguest of details at best.
But you know everything that happens in the first one.
Yeah.
Because it's such a great story, and that one's just like, oh, okay.
The second one is very weak.
Yeah.
On rewatch, especially. It's like
I bet.
very surface level commentary. Great. It's like Captain America: Civil War.
Yeah.
But with like kiddie superheroes.
I think the most forgettable Pixar movies are the ones with the vaguest things to say.
Yeah.
Like the Cars films and Incredibles
Cars 2
2.
is very memorable.
Good Dinosaur. That does have a strong message.
It does.
Don't eat a lot of wasabi, or you'll pee in front of millions.
Do you relate? Do you relate?
No.
Don't.
My friend in high school once ate a whole thing of wasabi, and he
Yeah.
started like shooting shit out of his nose. He was like dripping and drooling. Shout out to, I'm not gonna say his name. Shout out to Eric Kimball. There you go.
All right.
But yeah, what else is there?
Okay, well,
Frozen 3, don't give a shit. I'm sorry.
Okay, but if we are talking about Pixar,
Yeah.
outside of their sequels that they announced 2 original movies. They announced
They
this-
did?
Yeah, Elio, which we already technically knew.
We already have a trailer for that.
Yeah, but they reworked it, and it's now being directed by Domi Shi, who did Turning Red.
Was she not before?
Mm-mm.
Who was?
They took it away from, I think it was Ronnie Del Carmen, probably because they didn't like how the film turned out. So they took a 2-year break in order to fix the movie, which we'll see how it happens.
Oh, that's messy.
That's
a whole
that's
new
a little
director.
worrying.
Yeah.
After the film was like, I bet it was like halfway through being made.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah, but it's an original movie.
Yeah. Man.
And it's from a good director.
Yeah, no, I love Domi Shi because I love Turning Red. Like
Yeah.
that was one of Pixar's best films in years.
Yeah. And then Hoppers, which is a beaver movie where like a beaver, like a robot beaver. Like
Robot beaver.
Yeah, you don't know.
You don't know?
You don't know.
You don't know about the robot beaver? Wait, you don't know? You don't know?
There's a teenage girl whose brain gets put into a robot beaver, and she has to like.
Is there gonna be like an explicit like surgery scene, like graphic and shit?
It's like Face Off, but without the face getting ripped off.
Wait, so the beaver's mind's gonna go into the
The robot
girl?
beaver's mind- It's very complicated, but I think it has potential because it's silly, it's goofy.
Wait, so what's like that's all we know is
Yeah.
she's done put into a dang old beaver?
Yeah.
All right. I mean, listen, like Turning Red was like all we knew was like this girl turns into a panda.
We're like,
And this movie that kind of sounds like this. Beaver and panda are like they're pretty similar. So okay, so we had girl turns into red panda, now we have girl turns into beaver.
yeah, but robot.
But robot. Does it look like a metal robot beaver?
No, it looks like a beaver.
Metal Sonic?
No,
oh.
it looks like a beaver.
Like a
regular.
So why
panda.
is it
So is it a robot?
maybe to just like scoot around and eat like PETA, like
They're like, it's not real.
that's it's intrusive to put a human brain in a real beaver. Boycott the movie.
And then not only that, Pixar has their first short form series on Disney Plus.
We just watched the trailer for that, and it looks really cool.
It's cute. They're messing with animation styles. So
yeah, I'm excited for
3
that.
of the 5 projects that Disney is doing that are original, not IP based, are from Pixar. So
Oh, they're all from okay.
so
that's cool.
That's like
Good on you,
60%.
Yeah.
And even the stuff from Pixar, I think they could definitely improve with Incredibles 3 or Toy Story 5. I don't doubt that it could be good. I have problems with it, you know?
Yeah.
So, okay. So now that we've dealt with the animated world, we can go to the brand of Star Wars, I think.
Should we? Okay.
They talked about 3 projects.
I don't know anything about this. I didn't hear a single thing about Star Wars.
Okay. Let's hear about
They
it.
talked about
Let's hear it.
Skeleton Crew, which is
We
like-
watched the trailer for that.
which is a John Watts directed, created series about kids after Return of the Jedi finding a Jedi temple on
And
like
there's-
suburban
Yeah, like
Jedi planet.
like the planet's themed after like Fresno.
Yeah, it's like so weird.
We got like Ice World, Desert World, and like I hope the whole planet is just suburbia.
yeah,
Like it's
yeah.
a Coruscant, but it's just neighborhoods.
That'd be nice.
That'd be
yeah,
funny.
I mean, it'd be different.
It's
It looks
different.
different.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It looks
does look
different.
Very different for Star Wars.
And there's a baby Max Rebo in it,
he talks like a normal person.
and he talks like a normal kid, which is like
It's what you wanted.
That's just pushing my headcanon of. Have you ever seen that Robot Chicken sketch of Max Rebo surviving?
Yeah.
And he talks like that.
Yeah.
That now that's like, okay, that's Max Rebo's voice because they just sound like normal people, and that's actually what happened.
Yeah.
Which actually did, because he's in Boba Fett.
Yeah. Post Star Wars.
This is a pro Max Rebo podcast, by the way.
Yeah, we are.
I should have brought him out. I have him.
Oh, you do?
We'll have him when we go on.
You do?
When we go to break, he'll reappear in the middle.
Take a place of Zootopia or some shit.
No, I'm just gonna take everything off the table. It's just
No.
but yeah,
that's
cool.
It looks fun. It looks cute. It looks very different.
It looks
for Star
different.
Wars.
That's all I want. Is just different.
Because we've got so much stuff. If you look at The Mandalorian, you look at Book of Boba Fett, you look at even Andor to a certain extent, they all look the same.
Yeah.
In terms of the universe and like it's a war-torn galaxy that's grungy and sci-fi and stuff like that. And this brings us to the movie Mandalorian and Grogu.
Which is the exact opposite.
What did
they announce about it? Just that it's still being made?
They shot 2 weeks of stuff for it, and they actually showed off a trailer.
What?
At D23.
Comes out next year?
No, it comes out in like 2026. It's
what?
Like, it's the same month as The Dish. And what's the other main movie that was coming out? Maybe the same week as The Dish.
Are you serious?
Yeah, which is not good.
Not great.
Because people are going to flock to see Mandalorian Grogu.
Not The Dish.
Yeah.
Which is the Steven Spielberg UFO movie.
Yeah.
Which would be everybody's most anticipated film of that year.
Yeah.
Because that's like, oh my God. Okay, so.
And it's bleak because it looks exactly like
the show?
Exactly like the show. And I watched the leaked trailer, and I can tell you that it looks like they took Solo and they were like, oh, we like that style. Let's put it with the Mandalorian and Grogu style of filming.
Well, that's already the movie.
Yeah.
I mean, the show.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think it's weak because I do not care. I mean, Ethan knows this. I
know this.
Yeah.
I know exactly what he's. I know exactly what he's about to say.
I watched the Book of Boba Fett and Mandalorian season 2, and I enjoyed Mando season 2. But
see, I know what you're saying, so I'm mouthing it.
But Book of Boba Fett had me like angry. Like I didn't want to even watch it anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
keep going.
No, I just feel unlike Marvel, who they've been able to keep a steady stream of content that at least somebody likes. Me, you know.
Somebody likes you. Hi, Evelyn.
Baby. But with that, I sort of fell off, and it's making me not interested in anything Star Wars, except for Skeleton Crew, I guess.
Did anybody here watch The Acolyte?
movie? No, I didn't.
I
didn't either.
And that shows. It's
that's a bummer because that was like an original thing.
Sort of.
But it just didn't look interesting to me.
No, it didn't.
It's a cool concept, but it looked too much like TV.
And that's a problem.
And I don't like that Star Wars has TV shows now.
Yeah, I feel like I've hit a point, even though I love the Clone Wars animated show.
Right.
I feel like because of the kind of dwindling quality of a lot of Star Wars their TV content.
Yeah.
Because their quality has been really hit or miss for me, and I'm already pretty intrepid by watching TV because I don't want to dedicate a whole 6 hours to something that I'm on.
We're movie guys.
Yeah. So, and I'm also I'm of the opinion that Star Wars does not work on a TV.
I am too. Even though I loved the first season of Mandalorian, that's one of my
fun.
Second season I liked. Third season was not great.
Never watched it.
Yeah, don't need to. But I feel like Star Wars was never supposed to be a TV thing.
Star Wars I feel like it's such a theatrical series.
Yeah.
That either seeing in a theater or being shot for theaters and projected on a TV, that's the difference for me.
Yeah.
And I watched Kenobi. Oh, I was baffled by how bad it looked.
It looked really bad. Shot in a quarry.
And it's just dude, really? No, y'all got nothing else? This is Disney. And this is Star Wars. Give me something. But it's
I think the problem is Disney looked at the model for Marvel. They said, we need a Kevin Feige in charge. And so they put Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni in the director's, producer's chair.
Because, Mandalorian was, that was big.
And it was big. It was the launch
critically,
series.
And, that's what created Disney Plus, basically.
And it is a good show, and it has great hooks.
Was a good show.
It had good hooks, it had good characters, and it was like pushing forward on the universe is so vast, and we can explore so much with this concept.
Yeah.
But every Disney Plus show afterwards, and even the Rise of Skywalker, each sort of shrink the universe further by going, remember this character? Do you remember like this time in Star Wars? And that's exhausting.
Remember when you were a kid?
Yeah, I remember.
Good.
It was awesome.
No,
Yeah. And that's why we give millions to Disney now. 'Cause
Exactly.
We loved being a kid, and being an adult is hard. Okay.
But yeah, it's Bleak.
Yeah.
It's a Bleak trailer, and it's a Bleak. And who's gonna go see that? It's not it's. Are people gonna go see it? Am I gonna eat my words? Is that what's gonna happen?
I honestly don't know. I don't know. This could be super successful because everyone loves this little green fucker. You know.
He's cute.
He is cute.
He is cute. He's cute. All right, listen. That's the one thing I can't say against him. He's pretty cute. That's the one thing that I can't do that he has over me. He's cute, and I know I'm not. No, but Donald Trump probably thinks he's cute.
Yeah.
You think?
Probably.
Fuck
You,
yeah.
probably, you think he goes in the mirror? He's like, "Oh, look at that cutie."
Do you think so?
I think so.
Yeah, I think he's gonna bring Grogu on the campaign trail.
He's
Grogu would show up there. I'm just gonna say,
He was at January 6th.
Look.
for sure.
right there, we have proof. He's right there.
Force choking a Capitol police officer.
Actually ripping him in half. Look right there. No, I'm not gonna Photoshop that. That's too hard.
Did, right?
No, I'm not gonna use AI. Disney would though,
Yeah,
yeah.
and they probably will.
and that's a problem. I mean they
That's not what the episode's about.
Not
It's
as-
not about
not
AI.
as-
Fuck AI.
fuck
but
AI.
anyways,
Okay, but
what's next?
what's the difference between what Disney is doing with Star Wars and what they're doing with Marvel? Because I don't know how you guys feel. We haven't. Well, Chris, were you here for the Deadpool episode?
Yes, I was.
What? It was just the three of us.
I can't remember.
I can't remember.
Blacked out.
But you can remember the
No,
whole
but-
plot to Incredibles 2?
No, I can't remember the whole plot, but
know,
I
I
did
bet
just
you
watch
can.
it. I mean, hold my
No, I'm getting my water.
hand.
Keep talking.
But Marvel, how do we feel about how they're going? Like, is this Disney's continuing cash cow because of Deadpool and Wolverine,
Yeah.
or is there more?
I think they're in this same boat as Star Wars, if I'm going to believe.
Believe it?
If I'm gonna if you could believe it, as David Lynch would say. Let's see. Well, we talked about what they did at Comic-Con last
Right.
episode.
It's about the same.
Reeks of desperation,
Mm-hmm.
in my opinion. Here in Disney, they mainly just focused on their shows, right?
Agatha All Along, Daredevil,
And Ironheart,
yeah, and then they didn't release the trailer for Thunderbolts, but it's on there.
it's on there.
And
Did you watch it?
Saw parts of it. I didn't watch the whole thing. I'm not really interested in it.
I'm
Yeah.
not either.
And the only movie that I'm really looking forward to is Captain America because I'm a big
Really?
Captain America fan. Well, that, but also we'll see. They haven't had a good one of those, so.
True. Well, just I honestly I don't care about the new Captain America movie. Like
Love me some Harrison Ford.
I
and Sam Wilson.
I always wanted a Sam Wilson movie,
Mm-hmm.
but why is he fighting the Red Hulk and why is a Zionist there?
And why is the leader
And-
the main villain of the movie?
Why is this a Hulk movie?
Yeah, without the Hulk.
Without the Hulk, that we know. He's probably going to show up, like whatever. I don't know. It's like they're saying like, "Oh, we're going back to the grounded like Winter Soldier." But I'm like, you got a Red Hulk in there, bro.
Yeah.
And also without the Russo brothers directing that, I don't know if that grounded imagery is gonna work very well.
It doesn't even like
Doesn't look grounded.
visually. It looks sauceless.
Yeah, because like at least with like I
The
mean say what you
Russos
will about,
looked-
but like
yeah.
Winter Soldier, it has that kind of
Yeah.
almost like classic like spy thriller kind of touch to
it
it.
started that trend of like a lot of the Marvel movies being like that gray color
Yeah.
tone, but it worked for
that
one.
movie. Yeah,
It worked for that
absolutely.
one because that was different, you know?
This one looks like Civil War.
This one
But
looks
like it somehow still looks like it looks too sharp and very digital. Doesn't look like it has
the
much
lighting
character to
is
it.
super soft.
Yeah, it's just very like
Yeah.
shot on a stage and without too much depth
Yeah.
and shadows or
Do
anything.
you think they've spread their VFX artists too thin?
They always
Yes.
do. Yes, they always do.
Yes.
I wish we had somebody to talk about that, but
No, we don't know
No.
anything about that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't care. But Fantastic Four, they did show something.
the suit.
Yes.
They
the suit.
showed Johnny Torch's suit.
Johnny Torch.
Johnny Storm. Johnny Torch. They call him
the Human Storm.
the Human Storm, little Johnny Torch. Look at him in his pajamas. No,
It's great.
I like it.
I
It's
like
great.
it because
People hated it online.
they're dumb.
They're
Here's
dumb.
why I like
They're
it.
dumb for
I
sure.
love that it's like a sweater texture.
Yeah.
Because when he fucking flames on, you're gonna be able to see the lines, and it's gonna look like how it's like, Jack Kirby drew him in the original comics, where he's got like these yellow lines on him, and that just it adds like a cool texture. It looks homemade.
Yeah.
It looks homemade, but homemade by like a scientist genius, So it's not like, it doesn't look like a movie costume designer made it, which is what most of these suits look like.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. This looks like, okay, this is made by a character in world,
Especially
who-
like that 60s
Yeah.
retro-futuristic aesthetic.
Retrofuturism.
It looks right.
He looks like smart and everything. It looks like they're like, practically used, like I bet like each one's going to have that blue and white, but it's going to have like little variations.
For whatever their powers
They
are.
tried to do that in the last Fantastic Four movie, where it was like the suits are like so different from one another because it like complemented their powers, but they all just looked ugly.
Yeah.
Except for the Thing, he just had his dong out the whole time.
Yeah, he didn't have pants or anything,
No, he was
did he?
just naked.
And we've seen two Fantastic Four characters in the MCU since, and they have very traditional superhero outfits,
Yeah.
latex.
And they both got slaughtered.
Great. Love that.
Yeah, it's kind of cool that they're just like
They're just killing the
Fantastic Four until they get this version. But I'm still super excited for that one. I think that's there's two MCU projects that I'm really looking forward to. It was Fantastic Four, and then Daredevil. Oh, I can't wait for Daredevil to come back.
We'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens because like they got the cast back. I do agree that like not bringing the whole crew that made that show so phenomenal, that's a little concerning, because that, I feel like the people behind the camera is just as important as who was in front for that show.
Mm-hmm.
So, but the reason why they didn't bring him back is like bullshit, like season renewal loopholes. That's why they renamed it Daredevil Born Again instead of Daredevil Season 4.
Yeah.
Because like, now we don't have to pay them more, so we'll just hire new people.
Also, they don't have to like rely on the same baggage.
Yeah.
And be like, oh, like it's a reboot, a soft reboot of those Netflix shows.
Yeah. But I love the characters of Daredevil.
Yeah.
And I did see the leaked trailer thing that they did because I love that show. And it looks cool.
Yeah.
It looks great. The suit, Matt Murdock's angry as hell, beating the shit out of people. Punisher's going to be there. John Bernthal. He's great.
He's awesome.
Yeah. And then there's, what else? Agatha. I just watched the trailer for that before we started this.
It looks unique, I guess.
They took a meme from February 2021 and made into a full show 3 years later.
They were too. Maybe it'll be good.
Maybe.
I don't know.
It's just not a character that I was just like,
oh, I need to see more.
Yeah, like, I don't care about the witches of the MCU.
We need the supernatural side. I feel like Marvel. Okay, if we're ranking it by danger.
Danger. All right, what's the least danger?
Pixar for sure.
Oh, I thought we were ranking Marvel. You said.
Oh no, I mean
if we're ranking all the
studios
subsidiaries of the Disney Incorporated Corporation.
Pixar is the least the least dangerous right now.
They can't hurt you.
They can't hurt you.
They can hurt you.
Then would you go Disney Animation or
No.
would you go with Marvel? Because Star Wars,
I would go.
I'm in danger.
I would go Pixar. Then I would go Marvel because they're just still doing the same shit that they've just been doing the whole time. And then I would go.
Disney or Star Wars?
No, I'd go Star Wars, then Disney Animation. I just feel like Disney Animation is so cooked right now.
Flailing.
Yeah, I don't. But these are all like, I feel like they're all danger.
No,
but they're
Pixar's
actually.
not.
But at the same time, they're not because like everyone is gonna see Disney, and there's no way this thing's gonna fail for them.
Which is why it's so bleak.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, do you have anything else to say on the Marvel stuff, or?
Honestly, no. Marvel, I mean, I don't think it's any big news that, for me, Marvel is they've been dwindling. I think that's the consensus among a lot of the fandom.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, like, I'm kind of like casually excited for it. Like, I'll go see it. I'll go see the movies. I'm probably not gonna dedicate myself to any shows. Maybe, I don't know. We'll have to see.
I haven't watched the last two. So
yeah. I am eagerly.
What were the last two?
Echo and Secret Invasion.
Oh yeah, you're fine. You're fine. Oh man. Yeah, you're good.
All right. But if all of those are the bleakness of Disney really not embracing original film, I do think their live action department does have some quality stuff.
Like Mufasa.
No, not like that.
Like Lilo and Stitch.
Like Lilo and Stitch.
No, not like that.
Oh, okay.
Like Avatar Fire
3.
and Ash.
No, not the Seed Bearer.
I like it. I like
not
those
the way
titles.
of poop like you wanted.
Oh no! I can still make that movie though. I bet Cameron would let me do that.
It'll be Avatar 6.
Avatar 6: The Way of Poop.
Yeah.
I think that should be the grand finale film that like cuts off this the Avatar saga.
Yeah.
James Cameron's last dying project before he croaks. It's gonna be The Way of Poop. I don't even know what he sounds like. How does he sound like?
He's
You're
like a
obsessed with
normal
him.
guy. He's just
Hello,
one of us.
I'm James Cameron.
Yeah,
Like that.
basically.
That's my normal guy voice. That's what every
Kinda.
man sounds like to
Kinda
me.
like that.
Really?
And
Yeah.
Tron Ares.
Oh, okay. I'm excited.
Okay, let's talk about this. Let's
Good
talk
job.
about this.
Because I
Yeah.
know you guys
I-
love the first two.
I didn't watch the Bleak trailer. I saw Jeff Bridges is back, which surprised me. I didn't know that was going to happen.
It's all three.
I'm here for it.
Yeah, I'm here for it. I love Jeff Bridges.
Yeah.
But what I'm especially here for,
It's 9 inch.
9 inch.
9 Inch Nails.
The
doing
best runner-up we could have
that.
gotten.
Yeah.
For sure. I don't know anyone else who
They
could
were
have
like,
Yeah.
oh, we're not going to go by Reznor and Ross. We're going to go by 9 inch.
Yeah,
Nails
because
for
that's
this
cool. Because it's like Daft Punk did the last one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it should be another band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
it's-
so 9 Inch Nails.
and that's the
does it.
thing, because like Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross, they have like their film score work,
Right.
but they also have their own like music,
Yeah.
like
They do
dance,
both.
enjoy it. Yeah,
They do both.
and that's great. And I think them not only identifying themselves as 9 Inch Nails for this project, but also just knowing their sound,
Yeah.
the way they've been able to score things in the past in very different genres.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to see this, especially my favorite, like, they've done so many of my favorite scores. But like, I think the biggest point of reference for what they could do with Tron, for me, is Social Network.
Really, mine
Yeah.
would be Challengers.
Oh, that's good too.
Mine would be
I
the girl
think
with the
I think
dragon
Challengers
tattoo.
is what got them the job. If I'm gonna be
I
honest.
wouldn't be surprised by that either. But yeah, both of those, like,
Yeah.
it has that same kind of techno energy that
Yeah.
that really was what made that.
Them boys can work the synths.
Yeah. So I'm like,
So-
look, if any, like, of course we would have loved Daft Punk, but if anyone were to replace them, this is the best choice you could have possibly made.
And I love that we're just excited this movie just for the soundtrack.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just like I can't.
And
wait,
I hope the
I can't
story's
wait
good.
to hear. I can't wait to listen to this movie.
Yeah.
I honestly,
It's like Memoria.
Jared Leto is just the biggest stink over this that I could ever.
Oh, I
that is the biggest stink I could ever have over that. You know, I'm just
Yeah.
like,
I just think, if you think about it, Tron and Avatar, as like they are
Movies.
dynamically different from a lot of the stuff that Disney is putting out, because they're going to be visually stunning, and they're going to have good like sound. They're going to have good music.
did you watch that leaked trailer?
No,
I didn't either.
but
I was
I'm-
gonna ask if it looked still. At the
I mean,
cool
I've seen
visuals.
images. I just haven't seen the trailer.
Okay.
And I would say, I think with those two projects, I think Disney is setting themselves up for like good. But the problem with that being that it falls into the sequel stuff again. And the only
Yeah.
if you look at their other live action products, we've got a remake of Lilo and Stitch, which
Don't care.
nobody asked for it.
Don't care.
Remake of Snow White could be better
Don't-
because the
ugh.
original story sucks. However,
It
it
does-
looks bad.
And it looks like they're playing it pretty close to their chest.
It's just crazy to me that Snow White was the film that like Disney was like, animation can be a feature film that moves people instead of just short cartoons.
Yeah.
That was like, look at the power of like how we can bring such a classic tale to life with pen, like with a pen and celluloid
Yeah.
sheets or whatever.
And color.
Yeah. I don't know anything about animation. I wish we had an expert on the show that did.
Yeah, me too.
I don't know what all those terms are. It's just a bunch of hunky drawings. Who cares? Like, honestly, who cares about
kind
animation?
of like a genre if you think about it.
But I wouldn't even call it cinema if I'm going to be honest. But yeah, now it's like it's just such. I think that is the most telling thing about Disney is that like where they started. I don't know why. Bro thinks he's part of the team. You know. You know what? I think I can call myself an investor in Disney.
Yeah, you go.
How many
Disney.
times I've been to those damn parks?
A lot.
Yeah. I should have a say what happens. Well, I guess you kind of do. You vote with your movie
money.
ticket purchase.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm not going to see the Snow White movie because it just looks awful.
It looks
horrible.
Yeah.
And I watched that trailer and that made me go, I should rewatch the original.
Yeah.
I would love to rewatch the original.
We can.
Can I ask you guys what do you guys think of the dwarves in Snow White? Because you guys heard about the kind
Peter
of
Dinklage
Peter Dinklage's.
Just tell us about it for the listeners.
Was Peter Dinklage originally intending to be part of this project?
He
just spoke out about it.
I think they were gonna, hire little people.
They did hire little people.
They did.
Yeah.
So initially they did,
There's
and
set photos.
Peter Dinklage came out and like kind of talked about how that
it's offensive.
It's offensive because it kind of perpetuates this idea that people like what
little people.
Little people are these like mystical creatures. You know, they're not like us humans, and so like that's and I get that, totally get, and like that's why like in a lot of Peter Dinklage's work, like for example, I know you haven't seen Game of Thrones, Brandon. I love Game of Thrones, and he plays a character with dwarfism in that in that show, and his character is drastically informed by that.
Yeah,
it's a big part of who he is and the way the world treats him. But so Peter Dinklage came out and spoke about how this makes him feel, and it makes him feel like it's perpetuating this belief that little people are not human.
Yeah.
And literally the next day,
and
Disney came out and said,
"What?"
They said, "Oh, we're not going to do that. We're doing something completely different and fresh."
So they
just
some abominations instead.
So they just exaggerated all their features with CGI
because
and made it even worse.
They pushed it 2 years because it was supposed to come out around either the summer or spring following West Side Story, or the year, or was it that? No, not then. The summer after that. Yeah, and then they pushed it because of that. Because of what happened. So I think there's a conspiracy theory that I have is that they were doing the CG stuff for the dwarves in that movie.
That's your conspiracy that they were doing. That's why they delayed it?
Yeah.
Probably.
What a conspiracy.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I think I'm gonna have to cut that one out. I don't know.
What an insinuation.
We were talking about dangerous earlier. That was a dangerous claim, my friend. Okay, well, what I think about that is like, A, I don't think this movie should exist. Yeah. But B, if it does exist, I saw people were saying that Peter Dinklage was like kicking down the ladder, basically. Where like these are still roles that little people could play.
Yeah.
But now Dinklage is like, no. But again, I'm just like, okay, I don't think this movie should exist, and maybe we should just have films where little people are just characters. I feel like that's what Dinklage has been doing lately. He's just like playing people, which is like, that's.
It's not about his.
He's an actor. He's just.
It doesn't need to be. Yeah.
But whatever.
But it looks fake. It looks.
Yeah, it looks it looks like those AI like Popeye movie starring Will Smith. You know, like I saw a thumbnail for that. They're like Popeye live action movie starring Will Smith, and I'm like, what sick fuck? Like, what weirdo made? Like, I want to know is like what bored man. He's like, I really love Popeye.
I like Will Smith,
and I love AI. Let's try to make a trailer. I love Will Smith. I wish he was Popeye. Hey, eat your spinach. Like what the. I want to know the thought process behind that dude. He's like, I need to see if I can do this let's see what I can write if I can generate a Popeye movie with Will Smith.
The trailer looks bad. It
And
looks
it
looks fake in the world that they're in. Like it looks like a CGI environment. Like
everything.
Everything, even like the forest and the house they're in.
Yeah.
The only thing that looks real in that movie is unfortunately Gal Gadot.
Wait, who is she in that movie?
She's the evil queen.
Oh.
The only thing I'm excited about that movie.
He's watching it. No.
The only reason I'm curious to see how she looks as that old evil hag.
Yeah, they're not showing it.
I know it's gonna be a big reveal.
It's gonna be terrifying.
It's gonna be so fucking scary.
Yeah, now that's another reason not to watch it now, because like.
Yeah, no, she sucks.
And she's not a good.
She's not a good actress.
I don't think she's that great. I'm sorry.
What are you apologizing for?
I like her. I like her in Wonder Woman.
Yeah, she was good
The
in
first
one movie.
Yeah, because
One
she
little
played
movie.
a naive person, and I think anybody can play a naive person.
Okay, let's write a film with you playing a naive person.
Simple Jack.
Simple Jack. Let's remake Simple Jack with Brandon. Or let's remake Jack with Brandon.
That'd be fun. I like that
Coppola
movie.
movie.
That movie's great.
You're hairy enough, right?
I like that movie.
Okay. Me too.
We cry.
Well, let's remake it with you.
It's as good as The Godfather.
Would you like to be a little schoolboy?
I think we should wrap this up with
Okay.
Mufasa the Lion King.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why not?
And I think this personally represents the pinnacle of Disney greed. Basically stealing a director to get his more projects of his made. And
I don't blame Barry Jenkins for any of this.
No,
me neither.
He's making a chess move. He's playing a business move. Where he's
Yeah.
like, oh yeah,
Yeah. The one for you, one for me.
he's probably
Okay,
gonna get
that happens.
5 for me out of this if it
Yeah.
makes $1 billion. So
Yeah.
good for that guy. But like, sorry, bro, I'm still not gonna see it. I'm gonna be seeing Sonic 3 like 5 times in theaters instead. But yeah,
Shadow, baby.
we watched the new trailer.
It's so
Don't
bad.
care. Like,
And it's also
and it's a weird
It's a-
story that like, oh, Mufasa's like
Mufasa's an outsider.
he's
Scar
an outsider,
was,
and now he becomes the hero, and now we're like, oh, so now we want to like. Does that make me want to root for Scar?
yeah, because
in the
supposedly Scar
original?
was the one who was in line for the throne. Is that
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
insinuation?
But it was always like, oh, like Scar was supposed to be like the Loki like little brother character who was
Right.
jealous. But now I'm like,
now
no,
it's like
yeah, it should be him.
Yeah.
Like, who's this? Like,
I mean,
they're like
he's a
from
bad
orphan
leader.
to king, Mufasa.
No.
Oh, Scar.
Yeah, because he starves everybody in the kingdom.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Yeah, but I don't know. It looks fake. I mean, it's animated, but like the first one, what was the problem everybody had with the first one, Chris?
So the thing, okay, here's the thing. Here's what makes The Lion King work, and why a lot of animated films often
The
do
90s
not.
one.
Yeah, the '90s one. A lot of animated films don't center themselves around humans, because especially at the time, it's really hard to make a human look authentic.
Yeah.
Because
looking bad.
without, yeah, but we have a larger. We as audiences are able to excuse like, oh, that lion character looks like it might not be exactly right, but we have a stronger sense of scrutiny towards human animation.
Yeah.
Because we know it better than anything.
Yeah.
But so that's what made The Lion King work, and many other things made that movie work. But the problem with the live action, quote unquote live action version of that film from 2019.
Yeah, I think that was right. Yeah.
2019.
Something like that.
Bleak.
Yeah, here's the problem. Lions can't emote, man. Like,
The thing is they can. If we just watched like a bunch of cat videos before we started this
and you
episode,
can watch nature documentaries
and I'm like,
too.
these cats can like they got faces, man. But in The Lion King, they're just like Simba, Mufasa, you know, and it's just like
the
what
fish, like,
happened? I don't know.
I think there's something for me. There's something about the way the faces are drawn on the original Lion King, the animated Lion King from the 90s, that resembles human expression.
Yeah.
But for a lion, it's harder to identify with as a human. So by stripping away those human characteristics that are integral to what made that original movie work, you're sacrificing you're basically sacrificing the performance.
And everybody didn't like that one, and critics didn't like it.
Still made $1 billion,
But made a lot of money.
So
there's just a lot of hate watches.
yeah, and I mean,
Yeah.
we did that probably. I did that.
Yeah, I did that.
I didn't watch it.
Oh, really?
No, you're better than both of us. Sincerely.
I also
don't know why.
boycotted the 2020 Mulan.
Oh,
Yep. Someone added that in my watch list on Disney Plus, though. Who did that?
it was you. you wanted to watch it.
I guess. So
where do they go?
So where do they go?
You know, because like this is. Sorry, I just think it's such a bleak place for this company to be because they represent such a large fraction of 40% of Hollywood at this point. Because if you look before Deadpool and Wolverine and Inside Out 2, they represented 1% of the
1%.
The 1% of the global box office, and now they represent 50. So I don't know what that tells us, but Disney kind of has a chokehold on people, and it's unfortunate. But as far as quality of blockbuster cinema goes, as far as cinema in general goes, what do you guys think? Where does this leave us or leave Disney going forward?
I don't know. Disney has been like this for a while, and they've been building towards where they are now for a long time. And I'm not at all surprised by their business practices or anything, because they're a massive conglomerate, they're business. It's business at the end of the day for them, as magical as their business can be for some people.
That's the problem.
So and it's like magic. We've attacked, and it sucks that our, especially nostalgia is heavily attached to this company. So I'm hopeful that maybe things will change, but I'm very doubtful it will, because money talks in this industry.
Under capitalism does. And I think this whole thing was just bound to happen because of capitalism and how cinema has been used as it's one of the only economic based art forms, because it costs money to make movies, because it's actually unlike the plastic arts where it's just you can paint shit with a finger. That's free,
But it's technology.
You can buy clay from the store to make a pot for I don't know, $25. I don't know. Did I just Bill Gates myself with that? How much does clay cost?
Probably not that much, to be honest.
Yeah, because I'm so rich. I don't know how much clay costs. Whatever.
I had a dream.
No, I probably don't know how much clay costs because I couldn't afford it. I'm the opposite of Bill Gates. I'm I've never looked into that because I probably just don't think I could afford to buy clay and be an artist. But making movies costs money. You got to pay people.
Equipment's
and
a lot.
And that's just the thing that capitalism has turned film into, where it's just this art form is a business art form, which is gross. It's gross. And it was just bound to happen with, Disney started out as something that was very special and unique in the 20s, 30s, 40s, where it's they became that dog because they were like the animation studio. There was Warner Brothers and Fleischer, but something about Disney and
it was all ages.
they all Disney's been doing remakes from the beginning. They've been adapting storybooks, and
is an adaptation
fairy tales.
If they've never been made before,
I guess so. I don't know, but those stories were told before,
right?
Like Beauty and the Beast. There was a Beauty and the Beast film in the 20s.
There's Legend of Tarzan movies.
A lot of them were plays or something, right?
Yeah, but the thing is, this is going off topic. My little rant about remakes. I'm totally fine with someone remaking a film.
Yeah.
Because people put on plays. They remake plays all the time. But the thing that's cool with that is because it's different actors who they study the characters differently. There's different production designers for the stage and stuff. They always look different.
There's always a new spin.
There's a space Romeo and Juliet. Would you watch it?
Yes, exactly. But
a Western Romeo and Juliet.
And let's name some of the best remakes of all time. The Thing, The Fly. Let's see, what else was a remake?
Dune's technically a remake. I don't know.
Dune's a remake. Yeah, it's another adaptation. But there's a way you can tastefully remake a film.
Yeah. I think Cinderella is a tasteful live action remake that Disney early Disney did, when prior to the point when it was everything that they were making that was live action was a remake.
Yeah.
That felt like it improved upon the story of Cinderella while giving character to characters who never had character or personality in the original film.
And I'd say that with the Jungle Book too.
Right.
I really love that Jon Favreau Jungle Book because I haven't rewatched it because now I've just been so
jaded. Not
jaded, just disgusted with this animals real thing, but it was cool back then when it was just that, you know.
Yeah.
But now I feel like Lion King sort of tarnished it. So I'm just like, there are tasteful ways to remake films, and I mean, like that, like I am pretty anti-copyright law as well. I feel like,
Right.
I mean, I feel like artists should own their own works, but I think ideas should be like freely shared with everybody. You know, comic book writer Grant Morrison, he wrote this essay that I read in college about like how fantastic would it be if like everyone could make a Superman story, and like what Superman would look like to different people around the world, and how exciting that is.
Yeah.
And I think that is something exciting, you know, that, and I feel like I would love to see like different filmmakers, artists, like, you know, play around with all of these like properties that Disney has sort of like put ownership over, even though they're classic stories that they never owned, you know. But I feel like people now know them as Disney properties rather than like
the actual thing,
like Aesop fables or like Grimm fairy tales and stuff, you know, which is like, that's sad. That sort of, they sort of manipulated that, but see, but just what they're doing is just feels lazy. It feels lazy. It doesn't feel it feels like there's no artistry, which is, you know, which is weird for an art form,
right?
You know, so I for me, I'm not like, what can we do to change this? There's no way to change this unless we change
viewing habits.
No, how our economic system is in terms of film.
The revolution.
Because
and that's a whole other conversation.
And that's a whole other episode about, you know, capitalism in film. You know, because
fun.
That could be interesting.
It could be fun. Yeah.
Sheldon Salon. Maybe
if you want to host that, I got some takes. For that. But to me, I look at D23 and I'm just like, I'm not surprised. I'm not more devastated. Like, oh, like here goes Sinan. Like, yeah, okay.
But you're not excited either.
I'm not excited. I'm just like, guys, this is like how it's gonna be until, I don't know, until like the industry bubble bursts, you know, or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But if this tells me anything, I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna start supporting original blockbusters and films even more so.
Even if they're bad.
Yeah, like at least someone tried.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
Scorsese warned us.
He was.
And also, okay, here's the little thing about
Movies
I
can be fun.
I have no gripes if a film just wants to be like a theme park or a ride. No. I think that's a totally acceptable, because cinema can be anything.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
I know Scorsese's definition of cinema was like very specific to him.
Yeah.
To me, I'm just like,
movies are movies.
Movies are just images that move and then if it's over 50 minutes, then it's a feature. You know,
it can be educational,
and it can be whatever. It can be whatever.
It can be literally anything. Yeah.
It can be just colors, like we learned. They can just be flashing colors.
Brackage.
Brackage. Yeah. Stan Brackage. Like shit, man. Like that's cinema.
Yeah.
That's cinema, and also, you know, Deadpool and Wolverine is cinema. Like, and animation is cinema. I was just kidding earlier. Okay, but it's just like
Great genre.
I'm not one of those guys saying like this is an affront to the cinema art form. Like, no, that is like a movie, but I can still say that it's like, oh yeah, that's a like late stage capitalism movie. You know, and that's just like, it's a historical piece in of itself to show, oh, here's where we are under capitalism right now, where the movies are just this.
I will sort of try to err this on the positive side for Disney.
Sure.
A lot of these projects were originally supposed to go to Disney Plus directly.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see that they're reverting back to the theatrical environment for a lot of these films.
That's
nice.
You know, because it does show that they have sort of a pulse on the business, and that maybe the theatrical bubble wasn't about to pop because of COVID.
Yeah.
And they realized that most of the money is with distribution.
I think last year it really helped movies.
Thankfully.
Really helped movies, and it helped all those studios be like, no, people really do.
Like theaters.
People really do value the theatrical experience.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's where movies need to stay. You know, I think we're slowly going back to that. There's still like weird streaming exclusives and stuff like that, and
Apple
you know,
TV's doing what
and
they're doing.
People not being able to sue Disney because of streaming services. Which, by the way, it wasn't the husband who died; it was the wife. Max Rebo told us that over the break. So, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not outraged.
Not excited.
I'm not overjoyed.
You're just whelmed.
Yeah. We never talked about the theme parks. We're running out of time. That's okay.
We never talked about
this film.
Dwayne Johnson's Monster Jam movie, which is about monster trucks.
Oh,
you never heard of that?
No.
Oh,
that was one of the 5 original projects announced.
Hey, at least it's original.
It's about monster trucks, and it stars The Rock.
Is it going to be like the movie Monster Trucks? Like, are the trucks going to be monsters?
Lucas Till?
Okay. I don't care. My last message about this, my final say, please don't tear down the Muppet Corner in Disney Hollywood Studios.
For the Monsters Inc.
The Monsters Inc. The Monsters Inc. ride does look really cool. I really want to ride it.
It's going to be a family coaster.
It's like Silver Bullet, but it's
kids.
the doors, and that's cool.
Yeah.
Please don't take away Muppet Vision. I honestly think I will never go to Hollywood Studios if Muppet Vision gets taken away.
And it's not just Muppet Vision that would get taken away. It would be everything.
I know, the whole corner. Pizza Rizzo. I haven't had Pizza Rizzo yet. You know? Yo, I haven't had that shit yet. I haven't had that yet. Where's Pizza Rizzo?
The parks, everything that happens at the parks, with the exception of
stays at the parks.
What happens at
is like the only thing that the parks announced that was an original thing was like a carousel coming to that area in Animal Kingdom that's not IP based.
Yes!
And that
Another carousel.
And that just shows the degradation. I mean, I'm happy for an Avatar land here, but Jesus.
Where is that going to go? Do we know?
I heard that they might be demolishing the Grand Californian and Grand Grizzly Peak for that.
Are you fucking kidding me?
No.
Gulp.
Bleak times.
All right. Now I'm bummed. That's what bummed me out. You just touched my penis. We'll see you next time on Stacked.